What up, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy John G. And right now, sitting in DMV traffic. It's not good trying to get to a coach's meeting right now, but I saw Mark's response about the Hall of Fame. And let me turn the radio down a little bit. So, it's not that I don't understand what the Hall of Fame means. And it's not that I don't understand that it's an honor. Now, I think all of those things go unsaid. And I also understand that it's a fraternity amongst the best to ever lace them up, right? So I understand that. I don't believe that my argument is wrong because the Hall of Fame is supposed to be, it's supposed to be something where they're kind of documenting the history of the game, right? So with the Hall of Fame, I have been there before. So pretty much a lot of the history goes there. Like, for example, longest pass or whatever. Stuff like, if you break any type of history, man, it goes to the Hall of Fame. So it's kind of a shrine to that. And Mark talked about the busts, right? So that's cool. And I'm not arguing that T.O. I mean, it'd be one thing if T.O. didn't get in. T.O. got in when he did. I think that the thing about T.O.'s situation that is weird is that it set a precedent. And what I mean by a precedent is it means that the writers are dictating the rules and they can make them up as they go along. There's no set criteria on Hall of Fame. And I get it, there's no set criteria. But how can you take two similar guys that have similar run-ins and you pick one over the other? I think when T.O. was upset, and I go back to T.O.'s situation because I think he felt it was a slap in the face. Now, I am not saying that T.O. should continue to be a brat. He is being a brat. And another thing is, I'm not saying that he should be, or the Hall of Fame should jump through hoops just because he doesn't want to come. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that the system is flawed. It has come up to the point where what happened on the field, the actual game, the actual history of the game is being compromised by people who don't shed the same blood, sweat, and tears that the guys who are creating the history are. You know what I mean? Like the writers are creating the narrative and they're writing the history the way that they want, all because they don't feel comfortable with voting a guy in that they can't sit down and have a beer with. And I think that's complete BS. That's my argument. It's not that I agree totally with T.O.'s stance. In my opinion, I would love none other than for T.O. to actually have shown up there and just laid it all on the line, laid out the writers, laid out anybody, any critic, all of that stuff. Neil, whatever the heck the T.O. wanted to do, he earned that right. He did the blood, sweat, and tears. He put his all into the game. He deserves to do whatever he wants. And in my opinion, I think the best way to have expressed that was for him to show up at the Hall of Fame. He decided not to do that. That's his right. But for me, I think, like, for example, we talked about this where there are several guys that didn't get in. And Charles Haley was an example that you brought up, Mark. And you're absolutely right. By that logic, Charles Haley should have been in. Charles Haley wasn't in because he wasn't liked. Charles Haley was not a model citizen. Charles Haley did some questionable stuff. Charles Haley was an absolute great, but he was held back because he wasn't the type of guy that they wanted to put in that fraternity. See, it's not players. It's not the actual fraternity voting these guys in. It's guys with the damn pen and paper or keyboard or whatever the hell saying that this person isn't good enough when this guy has 5 Super Bowl rings. That's what I have a problem with. Not T.O.'s actions or Randy Moss's actions or whatever. I have a problem with the precedent being set. Because what's going to happen, for example, when all of these passing records are broken and they're inflated and all of that type of stuff. We have a lot of receivers out there that, the guy's likable, has a lot of yards, didn't win squat. But I can have a beer with them. opposed to somebody who's won championships that you don't like, or opposed to somebody who's done better that you don't like. See, I don't like that they have the option of erasing history, because I brought up Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt because guess what? These numbers for receivers are going to be inflated. So guess what that means for these guys? These guys keep getting pushed down the totem pole and they get forgotten about. Guys that we couldn't tell the NFL story about without them being present. The greatest show on turf is something that needs to be documented. We have Kurt Warner in there. We have Marshall Faulk. Now we have the two other architects to that. So that's my issue. It's not necessarily when you get in as much as it is the precedent that they're setting and the history that they're writing, that they're deciding outside of the lines. So let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, hit that bell each time I come out with one of these videos. And again, we can further discuss this even more. I can't wait until Monday, but I had to respond because I know what the Hall of Fame means. And in my opinion, the NFL is one of the only sports that does not have this right. All right, guys, peace.